talk about online shopping, privacy concerns in different territories. Is that something that weighs on you? Is that something that you research before you move into a new territory?
Privacy absolutely weighs on us. And we also look at both privacy and regulatory similarly. Before we go into a new market, it's a big piece of the research that we do before getting there. And that's things like data protection privacy, which we use across our platform, which then into all different markets. It's, equally, no matter where you are in the world, I think privacy and data protection is absolutely vital to any site, and in particular, any site that also has a transactional level of detail. Also then looking at payment methods themselves and making sure that when we go into new markets, there may be a demand for different payment methods, and that can be beyond credit cards and debit cards. It can also be cash transfer, or it could be using multiple payments and all sorts of different things. So it's also making sure that we have the right security on for those, and similarly the right fraud protection systems that also cover consumers.
So is there one particular territory that you could give us an example of that is a very different payment system to the way we would be used to in Britain, whether that's PayPal or card-based?
There are quite a few, and without going into too many details of it, I think if we look at countries like Russia, countries like India, very different types of transactions. Quite often it could be when it's a transfer from the bank directly, and more now there are new companies coming up then that help to facilitate those different types of payment. And as I said, it's really driven by what is a consumer demand and making sure that we're there along with the customer in having value for them and in having a site that's user-friendly to what the needs are in their market.
So if we were to think of a recent startup e-commerce business looking to broaden their scope and internationalise, what would be the first few steps that you'd encourage them to take?
The first thing I would say is to really understand your home market and get that right. And absolutely it's fundamental to have a key understanding of what the unique selling proposition is. Because without a USP, you don't have a place to go and expand. And similarly, if you don't have your home market right, anything that's not working well in your home market is going to get exponentially worse somewhere else. So I would say, first and foremost, make sure the home market is in check and running smoothly. And then for growth, to then proceed and really get each market right as to the next one. So as much as sometimes there's a want to go very quickly, it's pacing it and getting it right and then go to the next one.
And from your own experience, could you talk us through some of the key technologies that you employ whether it's researching or launching in new territories?
A lot of the technology that we use at eDreams ODIGEO is in-house technology. We certainly have some systems that we use, external ones, and again, things like payment systems and going through different merchants. But for the most part, we have systems that are built in-house. We try and have one single platform, and for some of the reasons that I talked about earlier around data protection, around payment protection, and really build them to systems that can have a unique product for us and really create and provide value for customers.
From a cultural point of view, if we're talking about the way different people in different territories shop, does that translate to you in the way a product is described or the way value is attributed to a particular product ever?
It does. It translates to a few different things. I think in each market there are a handful of things that we always take into consideration. One is looking at supply, and it's looking at, for that market, it could be flights, it could be the right destinations on the right airlines that make sense and better the demand in that market. Similarly, how it's priced, pricing versus convenience, and how then it's displayed. It can also be payment methods that we've talked about. Also, in each market, it is the different cultural elements of it. There are also calendar-specific nuances. So, for example, what are the social calendars? What are the seasons? What is impacted in each market? And understanding what is value to that customer in each market. And value can mean very different things to very different markets.